Hello and welcome back to Valiant Hearts, the Great War. My name is Wolfie, and we've got stuff to accomplish. Now that we are back on the side of French and not working for the German anymore, it would surmise that we have to do whatever they want us to do. So it's not really all that much different. Okay, so let's throw. Can we throw? We cannot, but we have to get at that bird. Alright, but to resume the conversation I was having in the last episode, I was talking about photography and how I slowly learned all there was for me to learn about that. Nope, can't do anything with the dog here. The last thing I mentioned was what I'd be talking about in this episode, and oh, he wants a sock for ink. Okay. And I ended up learning as much as I could at the time. I mean, there's so much going on that, and it is actually quite interesting once you dive deeper into everything. Especially, whoa. Okay. You want two, not one. Alright, so we gotta find a second one. Can do, buddy. Although that sock looks pretty grimy. But in doing so, I ended up going to the Bronx Zoo, and it was my first actual time ever going to that zoo, which, albeit in and of itself, was quite glorious, to say the least. It was, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's the first time I ever went there, and it was amazing. And that particular day, they happened to have peacocks just wandering around, which was actually pretty interesting, because you don't normally come across peacocks out in the wild. You just don't. It's not something normal people just come across. So it was my first time ever getting to be within arm's length of a peacock, a male one to be specific, because it was quite colorful. And I was using, this was before I ended up getting my Canon T2i. This was my first Rebel, and I ended up, without even realizing it, getting quite close to the peacock. Can we not pick that up? I feel like we need to pick that up, or we need to dig somewhere. But I ended up getting so close that I could have easily reached out and touched. Okay, so we don't want them to know what we're doing, but we want to wash it? I'm not quite sure. But I ended up getting so close. I took about, I want to say, close to 20 photos of the peacock, give or take. I'm not quite sure. I think it was in the neighborhood of about 20 or so photos. And since at that point in time I was still learning quite a bit about the ins and outs of how to get the basically get the background out of the way, so you're just getting your subject in focus, which in and of itself is easier said than done, especially when your subject won't sit still and is constantly moving and getting quite nervous with how close you are to them. But in the end, I ended up with a photo that was, I wouldn't call it perfect in any way. I would definitely say that it could have been a lot better. And if I was to be able to retake that photo, it would be considerably better now. At least I'd like to think. I'd like to think so. What are we supposed to do with this? I feel like we're supposed to do something with that, but it's not letting us. And we need to dry off the sock, but at the moment we'll take a look at the photos. Pause your screen if you would like to read them. They're actually quite interesting. Ooh, huh? Oh, a weird tradition, but okay. So, anyways, the photo ended up, after I ran it through some editing, ended up being so good. I guess it wasn't the definition of my skill at the time, it was just more or less the lucky shot, I guess. Now I could easily reproduce that, but you know, then it was just luck. But still, you learn a lot from that. How you did it, why you did it, when you really get down to the behind the scenes stuff. And I ended up taking that photo in particular, printing it out, framing it up and all that, and seeing what local art galleries thought of it. There's got to be something I'm missing here. The sock is still wet, and it won't let us do anything. Do we go over here? We do not. And we can't hit it. But after taking the photo around to, I'd say a good 5 or 6, just to see what the galleries thought of the photo, and eventually one happened to have an opening, and they liked it. Oh, there we go. They ended up liking the photo so much that they had it up in their gallery for... Can we use you, dog? Maybe I might have... I don't know why he just wants to keep giving... Why? Okay, this is puzzling me right now. I think this is the longest I've ever been stuck on something. I think I might have... Maybe I have to give that to someone down this way? That might be the case. I don't know why I keep trying to give the dog the sock. Well, anyways, my photo ended up getting to sit in that gallery for a week, which I thought was just absolutely incredibly awesome. But unfortunately, I did not get to create any other... I don't really want to call them masterpieces or anything of that sort, because I still look at that photo and I think it's just I just happened to get lucky. But, you know, it happened to be liked enough by someone that I was stopped trying to give that to the dog. That I was able to have it up in the gallery. And I think it's really cool that I get that privilege. I can say that that even if it was only for a week, I ended up with a photo in a gallery. Every time I stop and stand next to the dog, he tries to give him the sock. And then every time I click, he tries to... I think I actually might have to restart this, because I think I was supposed to pick that up before I picked up the socks, so I think it might be stuck. Though this wouldn't be the first time I had to restart something in this particular title, because in previous episodes, I actually ended up getting stuck digging. Oh, he almost did something there. I think I'm supposed to put the bread there, but I can't, because I can't get rid of the sock. Alright, I'm gonna have to put that conversation on pause. I am gonna have to figure out, because this is driving me absolutely nuts. Alright, so it was staring me right in the face the whole entire time. I just had to stop and stand in front of this at that particular spot in order to activate him putting the sock on it. I couldn't stand at it from another angle, apparently. So, I just kept approaching it from the wrong angle. That's all. But then I tend to do that a lot with quite a few things I probably shouldn't. Oh well, what can you do? Thus is life. The sock is now dry, and we can give it to the guy and hopefully get ink for it. There we go. Now we got ink. And now I can take the bread. Good deal. So, back to what I was saying. You can't... Whoops. Nope, we don't want to give that back to the dog. Not everybody can say that they can just go into something knowing everything there is to know and having the full skill set required. And I actually really enjoyed learning all there was to learn about photography. And I do wish that I could have turned that into something, but unfortunately that was not the case. What do we have to do with this bird? Come on, birdie. Do we have to hit him with something? I think we do have to hit the bird with something now that he's flying. Or just wait. Oh, he... Ah, for the pen. I get it.
My dearest daughter, I heard from Carl. His condition is stable. He is still in the prisoner camp south of Reims. I hope to finally get permission to visit him. Thank you for the photo. It means so much to me.
Alright, looks like we're playing as Freddy and we gotta avoid the bombs. But back to what I was saying. I've learned that as I can tell that quite a few of the younger viewers that watch some videos on YouTube and all that, they haven't had that experience yet. It's safe to say. Oh, mud. Oh, don't get hit by the bombs. And that has ended up with quite a few people getting really needlessly upset about some dumb things. As I've seen in the Let's Play section of Reddit. Now, maybe I'm just being overly Come on, Freddy, don't die. Survive. Come on. Do we need something from in here? Oh, we gotta push this. Or we pull it? What do we do with it? Well, we can't break it open. So let's just try pushing. See where that takes us. Do we climb up? We do. Oh, and then we gotta pull it from this angle? No, we don't. Maybe we need it over here. Oh, we do. Snip, 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 snip. Alright. But I've noticed that quite a few people, whenever I am there, just, you know, asking, as you do, because that makes perfect sense to me, asking for a little bit of advice. None, well, with the exception of my first question, none have gotten answered at all. So, is what it is. You don't know everything, and you're not going to have every skill that might be required for whatever you're trying to accomplish. Was my overarching point. And it took me years messing around with cameras to get to the point where I felt confident enough in saying that I could take a decent photo. We can't seem to pull that. We need some sort of tool. Did we pass a tool by? Or do we need to explode those things? We might just need to explode them. We can give that a try. That is not the case. Can we climb up over them? They won't let us. They won't let us push them, won't let us pull them, and we can't climb over them. But, back to what I was saying is, I never go into anything thinking, oh, I have all the answers, I know exactly what I'm doing. I look at everything and think, oh, this might be an opportunity to learn something new. Something I didn't know previously. Something that could possibly be quite interesting. Ah, we gotta pick that up. Alright, we take that over, maybe we fasten that to the cart and get to pull it. Possible. But I look at everything as an opportunity to learn. And I always feel like when you're learning something in the very beginning, you do end up asking questions that might not be the most amazing. I don't know what to call it exactly, but you know, questions that may have already been answered by other people, and you just don't know where to find that thread or something, to that forum post, so you can look it up and read the answer that was already given to that person. But you have to learn. Didn't I not leave a piece of wood here? Uh-oh. We need that right now to get down those... I think they're grenades? Well. Oh, never mind. It's right here. Let us knock these down. There we go. But apparently, and the reason I am talking about this now is because as I'm recording this, yesterday I had the wonderful pleasure of I didn't expect that to do anything. We gotta trigger those explosives over there, and that's gonna take a few of these. I had the wonderful pleasure of having a guy basically call me out as being a an awful person that's just out to make money on YouTube and not actually willing to put in the effort required. When I couldn't even discern why he even thought that at all. It didn't make any sense to me. But it ended up with that person going back and forth with another person and ended up getting the thread completely locked down. With a few people saying that my question was answered, when actually it wasn't at all. Which seems to be how things work on that particular subreddit, which is frustrating. Not getting your question answered, having people say it did, and then getting your thread locked down because someone decided to start bickering with someone else. Wonderful. Whoop. Okay, we need another grenade. That's what we need, because we gotta trigger the last explosive all the way at the end there. Gonna shoot at me or what? Nope, they're just gonna continue to reload. Okay, they might be stuck in their reload animation, but... oh, or not, it just might take them a few minutes to reload. Okay. But because that ended up getting locked down, and I can no longer comment in that, my question was never answered, which is frustrating. I don't... I might have... oops. Got killed. Right there. Might not have worded my question as amazing as I could have. Maybe that was why that happened, but it also might have just been that that guy was a troll and just having a bad day. Who knows? Who knows? But the point that I'm making is you're never going to learn any new skill you're trying to. Since I've never edited video before I started this channel, it was always audio up until audio or photos up until this point. So it's all new. And I see that as being interesting because I've never had to comment on gameplay before ever, so it put me in a position to learn. Damn, walked right out into that. It put me into a position to learn things I've never had the pleasure of learning before. And improve. Shoot, you gotta throw that really quick. Or catch him right as he's starting to reload. That sucks. Okay, now let's do it. Well, I ended up getting that down. Aw, shoot. Now I have to go get it. Well, let me go do that real quick. Alright, it seems like I've finally figured out what we're supposed to do. Hopefully I won't get shot at this moment. Alright, we're gonna get past this part. Took me a few minutes because the gunfire ended up getting out of sync and I ending up getting shot because I had just a brief couple of seconds to get between the two being out of sync. It was definitely challenging. But back to what I was saying, and the whole point that I was trying to make, as everything is freaking out at this moment, we're being bombed and all this crazy nonsense, but what I was saying was, the overarching point that I was trying to make was, if you try something new and you realize it requires a lot more skill than you initially surmised, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like you have to give up. Like you'll never become as successful as another YouTuber or whatever you're trying to do. And it's okay if in the beginning whatever you're doing is subpar. You're learning. It's cool. I could have took that YouTubers or Redditors, I don't even, yeah, he probably has a YouTube channel, but I could have taken his criticism and looked at that as being, I suck and I should give up on everything, and there's no point in even trying. And that would have been a pretty negative way to take his criticism. And it was nice of the other dude up on Reddit to defend me and all that. I did appreciate that, but it wasn't necessary. Especially the part where they ended up going back and forth and getting the whole entire thread locked down without me actually ever getting an answer to the question I was asking. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. So, you didn't pick anything up. Do we have to pull you down further? We cannot. Alright. We have to move you. Oh, I see. I think we might be loading up the gun with bullets. Makes sense. Yeah. Right here. Load it up with some bullets. Let's push it from the other side. Oh, and the dog wants to ride it on down? Okay. Let's load up this gun, and I think that might be a good place to... Oh, wow, that's significantly larger than it looked. Okay. So, do we have to... Oh, we do. Freddy. He is telling us... Ah. We are missing something. Are we? Or not? Oh, I think we are. Well, let's find out what we're missing so we can end this here episode. I don't look at my commentary as and think, oh, this is golden commentary. I am amazing. I know that basically having a conversation with myself is going to be a skill that I have to, there we go, develop. Because who normally sits there and just talks to themselves, you know? Oh, did I hit another one of those walls? It looks like I might have hit another one of those digging bugs. This would be the third one I've hit in this game so far. Well, it seems like the game just does not want us to shoot off the gun in this episode. It looks like I'm going to have to reset the game and start over. Hopefully not too far back. Hopefully from the beginning of this particular section. But I can't move the character. He's just walking forward. I can't dig at all. I can't do anything. So I will end this episode here. If you enjoyed my commentary or are enjoying this particular title, please, by all means, leave a like. I very much appreciate it. Subscribe for more, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.